Welcome back to the channel, guys, and today we've got a video on more ways to win. This is my stream save, which we stream every single day except Mondays and Thursdays on Twitch from 4 PM. And I thought I'd bring this save to the video because it's all done live. As you can see, we've finished first in every single division we've been in, from tier 8 up until the championship, where we finished second. But that's like 7 straight promotions to the Premier League. And the reason why I'm telling you this is so you guys, when you're watching the video, it adds a bit of credibility to what I'm saying, right? I know it looks like I'm coming across as arrogant or whatever, but it's just to show you guys that what I'm going to tell you in this video definitely does work. Let's get into it. First one up we have is team cohesion. Now, some of the things I'm going to tell you in this video is going to seem pretty obvious, but they're things that people neglect. And if you have everything in order, then you've got a smooth ship and everything should go smoothly. So, team cohesion. What is team cohesion? Because I'm not only going to tell you what is important, but I'm also going to tell you how to make it important and how to improve it if it's not in a good state. So, currently my players have forged an extremely strong understanding. Now, if this is to the left-hand side of this middle bar, it's not green and it's orange, then your players are not going to know where each other is, they're not going to know where to move, all that good stuff, right? So, biggest example I've got of team cohesion, to try and make you understand it a bit more, is Leicester in 2016, right? They was in a low block 4-4-2 or mid block, whatever you want to call it, but they hit the teams on the counter-attack, right? Now, they knew that as soon as they got the ball, that Jamie Vardy was going to be on his bike, right? Or who else was up front? Or was it Okazaki or whatever? They all knew what each other was doing when they had the ball. So team cohesion works like that. So Leicester didn't have the best players, but they had the best system, and everyone within that system understood exactly what was going on in the first phase, middle phase, final phase. So team cohesion is a massive, massive important part of the game. I see a lot of people signing 20 players each transfer window, and it's in the orange. They start the season badly, and they might get sacked. Right, so I've got a few things what you can do, and most of it is in training. So more friendlies that you do in pre-season helps with team cohesion, first of all. More matches, the more improvement, the more they get to know each other, of course. But there's other things you can do starting in training. So we're just going to take this rest day here. First of all, we have teamwork. Teamwork affects team cohesion, and it's a greatly increased. So it sees significant increases in this area as a result of this session. You can do 3 teamworks per week. So if you do one there, I do one there, I do one there, then I can't do another one there. So I can only do 3, right? Okay. Second one, match tactics. You can train match tactics. That also increases it. It's not a greatly increased. Teamwork is the best, but match tactics helps it a lot. Pretty sure the other one as well is team bonding, which is team cohesion increased. You can do one of those a week, and you can also do one of community outreach a week, which is slightly increased in team cohesion, but you can do one of those a week. So really, the best thing to do is 3 teamworks, community outreach, team bonding, and a couple of match tactics. Now, that's not going to improve your players' attributes, really. A little bit it will, but not as much as like these things will, the attacking possession. But what we want is we want this improving. So the sooner this is in the green, you will see a massive improvement in your performances. A lot of people also, as a side note, the last final thing on team cohesion, if this is in the orange and you guys have built a new tactic, it might not play as well as the tactic could play. So you guys are going to be thinking, oh, well, I've made this new tactic. It's not very good. But the reality of it is, it could be as simple as this turning to green. And then all of a sudden, you've got a tactic that's good and you're like, wow. So just sometimes keep it in mind when you're making a new one, a new system. This is in the orange. Give it a little bit of leeway until it's in the green, and then have a look at it. And then if it's still not good, then change. But yeah, keep that in mind. And that's team cohesion. The second one we have is match preparation. So if we're looking in training again, and we're looking at match preparation right here, yeah? Defensive shape and attacking movement, these two are a godsend for me. An absolute godsend. I do both of these at the start of the week. If there's one game a week, like let's say Leipzig wasn't there, let's say if it was just the Arsenal game, for some reason I'd put attacking movement there, and I usually put defensive shit there, right? But obviously there's a Leipzig game here, so I've put it there, right? What you want to do is it lasts 7 days. It's for a week. So I obviously want it to affect, if I put it here, it doesn't come into effect for the Leipzig game. But if I put it here, it takes over the Leipzig and the Arsenal game. So I'm going to get it for both. So if you look at it down here as well, match preparation, it says special focus has been placed on the following areas ahead of the match against Leipzig today. Defensive positioning, attacking movement, passing and marking. Now, you get an extra boost in your passing, in your marking, and obviously your positioning of your defenders and your movement of your attackers. And it says our focus on attacking set pieces really paid off. Now, I didn't do that, but that's obviously helped because obviously it's obviously worked with these set pieces. Now, you can also put set pieces in too if you go into match preparation. So basically, it's a little boost, right? These two things are a little boost. It even says in here, it's a session focused on the defensive unit and the roles they will play in the upcoming match. So it impacts the upcoming match, and it says right there what it impacts. Attacking movement's the same. It impacts it. Now, a lot of people say that when they go to technical and they go on chance conversion here, they think that this helps inside the match. It doesn't. Now, long term, it does, because this impacts finishing, long shots, heading, technique, anticipation, and composure. Now, long term, that will affect your attacking players taking chances because they're improving in those attributes. But if you want a short-term boost, you want the match preparation, attacking movement, and defensive shit. Now, an extra thing on match preparation, if you go down to set pieces here, is these guys, right? These all impact the upcoming game. So if you realise that someone's weak at set pieces and you want to really affect that and you want to train attacking corners and attacking free kicks, look, in the upcoming match, it gives you a better chance of getting attacking free kicks. Now, what you can do is in attacking free kicks and attacking corners, you can put that in there. You can come into your tactics and you can play for set pieces. If you're a team that's struggling and you want to get those little extra percentages out, because this is what this video is about, right? A lot of these things might seem obvious to a lot of people, but if you do them all, you have got a very strong base to go and win a lot of games and win a lot more games. So if there's any questions about any of these things, and I'm going a bit too fast or I'm not getting everything in, please ask them in the comments. If there's anything I've not gone over, and I will respond to you, I promise, every single comment. But yeah, that is match preparation. If you want a little boost, we want to do these two. If we want to do set pieces, we can do these two. If you're going into a big cup game, like a Champions League game, and you think you might go to penalties, you can train penalties. And your team will get a slight boost on penalties. Also set piece delivery as well. Another one you can do. Obviously, you don't want to do all these in a week because you'll lose a lot of your training and your player attributes. But just keep in mind, if you see a team and you want to go to the Premier League and you come into here, and we want to have a look at teams that are struggling with set pieces. So this is teams that have conceded the most goals from indirect free kicks. So if you go down to the bottom, Reading, Wolves have conceded the most. Now they're at the bottom of the league. So you probably don't really want to attack them too much because they've just got a natural weakness. But let's say, for example, a really good team like Man United, we're struggling down here like with 5. You probably, when you play Man United, want to attack that, right? Because it's a good team, but they've got a clear weakness. So teams conceded from corner, West Ham, Reading, Man United. See there, Man United, weak at corners. So when you play Man United, bang, hit them for corners, for example, right? It's just little things you can do to add a little bit of extra percentage and get a few extra wins in a season. That could be a difference between what? Avoiding relegation, it could be the difference between playoffs, it could be the difference between Champions League or even a title. So yeah, second one is match preparation. The third one we have on the list is tactical familiarity. Now this is one I bang on about a lot. It's probably in loads of videos. If you watched all my videos, you're like, Lewis, okay, we know about this. But if you're coming to my channel for the first time, and this is the first time you're hearing about it, I've got to put it in the video because it's massively important. It's as important as team cohesion, I would say. Two of the most important things in the entirety of FM. I have had seasons where I've massively overachieved because of those two things. The team cohesion and tactical familiarity. So if there's any two things you take from this video, it's these two. Right, as you can see, first of all, you guys will have this screen, usually, most of you. I like to have this screen here, right? It shows me the familiarity of my tactics. So, as I'm going back to the analogy earlier with Leicester, you can see it here. My team and my players know my tactics inside and out. They not only know the tactics inside and out, they know each other inside and out because of the cohesion that we talked about earlier. Which is why, again, right now this season, we are first in the Premier League. But if you look at my team, it's only like a mid-table level team. So again, we're massively overshooting it. Media prediction 11. We've only got a 3.5-star team. Now, don't get me wrong. I've got some good players. I'm not saying that. We've got Torrin this season, who's made a massive difference. 85 million. He's scored 11 goals in 10 games. He's absolutely unbelievable. But every single player knows every single job. They know all the tactic. And I'm telling you, there's a massive difference. Now, again, the reason how you get this up is you can get this up a few ways. First way, if you sign a player straight away, right, and you go into him, let's click on Bruno, he's classed as my shadow striker, right? So what I do is I go into my development tab and I train him as a shadow striker. Now that's got two benefits. First of all, it helps with the tactical familiarity because he's training as that, so he knows what to do in game, right? Second of all, as you can see, it actually increases the attributes, improves the attributes that I want for shadow striker, so he'll get better at being a shadow striker. So there's no downside to doing this for me. So that's what I do there. That's number one. Number two is if you go into training and you go into your calendar again and we go into match preparation, match tactics, it impacts the team tactical familiarity right there, as you can see, right? So everything that impacts the tactical familiarity, you want to be putting that in pre-season. Now, teamwork does it as well. I'm pretty sure outfield does it as well. Yeah, overall does it as well. A lot of these do it. Tactical as well might do it. Yep, tactical familiarity. So a lot of these do it, but the main ones are teamwork, match tactics, and overall, and outfield. Also, tactical could help as well. Yes, it does. So yeah, like I said, those three things is you want to do help with the tactical familiarity. And what it does, honestly, I can't even tell you. If you've got, I mean, look what it's doing on my save. Like, I'm trying to make this save that we do live in front of everyone with no editor, no cheating, no nothing. It's literally proof that everything I'm saying in this video works, I promise. And if you get into good habits with all these things, they're things that you will just do without thinking about it. And then you'll just have a better experience, you'll have better seasons, and everything will just click into gear. So that's tactical familiarity at number 3. At number 4, we have in-game management and seeing out leads or draws, depending on if you're playing a big team or whatever. This is something I'm going to show you literally in front of you so you guys can see the difference. Right. Let's say, I'm not in a game right now, but let's say we're winning the game 2-0, 70th minute. What a lot of people do is they go straight from positive, if that's how they started, and they'll go to defensive, very defensive or whatever, and then they'll change a load of roles, they'll pull people down here or whatever, and they'll make massive changes to the tactic. And then they'll concede and they'll be like, what? Why? So, main reason for that is it ties into number 3, which is tactical familiarity. So if I go from positive to defensive, straight away the mentality has chopped down to like 30%, is that? You guys can be the judge. So, what I suggest and what works for me is subtle changes that don't really impact the tactical familiarity, but make the team a bit more defensive and a bit more sturdy. So what I mean by that is, what you can do is this. So this is what I typically do with this tactic. So because my team are fluidity unstructured, yeah, I don't want to stray from structured because it works for me. My players are structured. They know exactly what I want. So, what I do is I change this guy, fullback, defend. Now, yes, he loses a bit of tactical familiarity, but not much. As you can see, there's not much he loses. But the team loses nothing, right? And then I change Doyle from attack to support, and I click hold position. And again, he loses a little bit of tactical familiarity, but the team don't really lose much. Straight away, I've got 2 fullbacks now that haven't impacted the tactical familiarity. They're going to sit back, defend. Right. Next thing you can do is, well, what I do in my game is Teo is on attack right here. So what you can do is put him on support, right? And it'll just make him be a little bit less gung-ho going forward, less chance of getting counter-attack. Now, as you can see, my fluidity has now changed to flexible. It has an impact. It's not had an impact. I know why. Because I'm flexible on my second tactic. Right, okay, so that's a good thing. So it doesn't matter, but this is what I do anyway. I change them down to support, and then I make this guy down to defend. right? And it changes back to structured, right? Basically, the more support duties you've got, the more fluid your tactic will be, and the more defending and attacking duties you've got will mean it'll be more structured, right? So what I do is I try and make it structured because that's the best way my tactic works. So because I changed this guy from attack to support, that gave me an extra support duty, and I changed my support duty on my DM to defend to offset that. So now what I've got is I've got a little bank of 6 right in front of my goalkeeper. They're not going to move, and they're going to be really solid. I've got 2 wingers that are still going to attack because they're on support, but they're not going to be really gung-ho in front of the ball. And then I leave these 2 guys up front, right? I don't change these 2 guys at all. And that way, look, from those changes, you can even add time wasting in if you want. You can even play for set pieces, do all that stuff. But what I'm saying is massive changes is not good in game. Even if it's defensive changes, it doesn't always mean it's good. Obviously, my tactic won't be exactly the same as your guys' tactic, but the little things that I've just explained that you guys can think about and be like, right, okay, I don't want to change this too much because that means that this player won't know what to do and then they'll score from that, etc, etc. So last but not least, we have the analysis button, which is right here, just next to your tactic at the top right of the little box of the pitch. And it's here. So if you click on that button, it shows you your average position of your players. And then if you click this little toggle here, and you click show position analysis, it brings their team on to the pitch. So you can see your average player positions against their average player positions. Now, what I like to do is I like to have a look at this if the game's a little bit close or I want to find those extra little percentages. And it's 20 minutes in and we're 1-0 up and we're playing really well, so I don't want to do anything. But for the purposes of this, for example, let's say they're 1-0 up, right? And you come in and look at this and you might see, for example, number 32 here, which is Ivan Ilic, is in a lot of space, right? No one's really close to him. My number 10, he's not really marking him. My number 20 here, he's not close to him. And my number 29 is too far away. So let's say this guy here, Ivan Ilic, is causing us problems and there's a massive, massive gap. There's no one next to him. What you might want to do is you might want to push the defensive lineup. You might want to step up more. You might literally want to take your DM, D'Alessandro, and tight mark him. There's plenty of things you can do. But what I'm saying is this little button here is a godsend. Honestly, it's brilliant. You can click on it. Like I said, it enables you to display in-depth tactical analysis, including detailed information on how the players work together. You can also see where the ball is more. So the ball for me is down here. We've had a lot of the ball in the first 20 minutes. So I don't want to change because my 2 DMs here are in a lot of space, as you can see. Now, if I was getting counter-attacked a lot and it showed you that their striker here was on top of my DMs and not allowing us to have the ball, I'd probably push the defensive lineup, which pushes my defensive midfielders up. So the striker isn't right on top of my defensive midfielders. So sometimes that happens. If teams defend deep against you and you're at the top of the league, you might be thinking, why are they taking the ball off us and counter-attacking? Because their strikers are sat on top of your DMs and your defenders are just passing the ball about each other and you're not really getting anywhere. You might want to push up. You might want to drop the line. Give your team a bit of extra space. But this button here is fantastic because you can see what's going on and the average position of your players compared to their players. And you can make changes based on that. Just a little thing at the end of the video. I'm probably going to have a part 2 to this video at some point down the line with 5 extra things. If you liked it, leave a like. If you like the videos in general, please subscribe because 66% of you guys that are watching the videos aren't subscribing. Please do that. And until next time, thank you for watching. Goodbye.